Welcome to the first ever Fireside chat on Krunchy AI Talks. We have got three visionary leaders from three diverse domains joining from different states, all set to dive into data protection, must have fresher skills, phone spying on you, and many more. We had a blast recording this. Now it's your turn to enjoy.
You have to name one technical skill that a college grad should have now in the AI era. What would that be, Srirak?
Lot of hype around AI, but I think fundamentals of computer science and coding, I think, are more important now to understand, pick up skills, right? I think most of the engineering graduates are stuck into their subjects itself, right? But they should make sure that their coding skills improve and they are very good at generally picking up any problem and then implementing the code for it.
Absolutely wonderful. Anurag?
Yeah, I think since I'm into the same domain, maybe cybersecurity fundamentals is something that people should know, irrespective of what domain they pick up on their career. I think that's something they'll be closely connected to. And with the ever-evolving threat vectors, I think cybersecurity fundamentals is something that people should learn in college.
Great. Sriranjan?
Yeah, I think every organization either is already on cloud or is on the journey to cloud. I think so. For the same reason, having some exposure to cloud-based development or some fundamentals around cloud, I think that would be helpful.
Great. Now, what is one soft skill that every grad should have?
I think as young kids, especially in the short video era, there is very less, time that they put in on a single thing, right? So I think just concentration and ability to stick onto something and then stay with it, and either it is learning, whatever it might be. I think that is probably very important.
Yeah, moving on. Anurag?
I think teamwork is the biggest thing that people should, learn when they start their career, because people are used to working on their own, right? And all by themselves.
Correct.
So I think in corporate environment, it's always the team goal, and we always work as a team, and all our achievements are as a team. So I think teamwork is one thing that people should learn as they start building their career.
I think adding on to that, also I think what's important is listening, specifically active listening, because early years of your career actually define the next decade of how you are going to be, where you're going to be. So I think that's an important soft skill that people should work with.
Thanks for highlighting that. Now, moving on, what is one easy way to protect your data? Because, see, today we are talking about our data being used in a number of ways. So, from security angle, if you have to add, what is one way to protect our data today?
Well, there are multiple ways and multiple areas where people can protect or be more in control of their data, right? And one basic thing to start with is to make sure you have MFA enabled on all your accounts, right? MFA is multi-factor authentication. So right now, right from your email apps to all the other applications that you have on your phone, I think basic step to start is to have MFA enabled in all your accounts, be less prone to account compromises. And it goes on, right? Like know where you are, providing your personal information, what all apps have access to your personal information. I think some of the, features in an iPhone let you choose which apps have access to what data, right? I think some of the phone manufacturers coming up with these features. I think gone are those days where people may think, hey, what will you do with my data? I am one of so many people in the country or in the city or in the circle that I'm living in. But every piece of data, I think, carries a value. So being in control of your data is a key thing that people should learn. I think these are the two things that I would think of.
Absolutely wonderful. Now, continuation to that question, this is to both of you. Do you think the apps can spy, right? To people without reading all the instructions or whatever apps permissions that are being asked, they just agree upon, right? And then from the development angle, without the permission of the user, can you spy on that particular user by using microphone or whatever it is without getting the permission to it from the technical aspect? And then from the security angle, how do you see that in the future, taking a shape?
So it doesn't happen without, so at least I think primarily it is either Android or iOS from a mobile operating system point of view, right? So these OSs have evolved to a point where they tell the user what the app is trying to do, right? And a lot of these permissions are, so for example, if you don't give permission, your microphone for permission to WhatsApp, you can't audio call, right?
Correct.
So as simple as that. But then that doesn't mean that you give microphone permission to a app that doesn't have anything to do with my microphone. So right. So ultimately, that onus is on you to figure out. So Android now has moved to runtime permissions, where anytime you can choose whether you want to give a particular permission now, only this time, versus only for when the app is running, versus ever, right?
Correct.
So I think that way these OSs have evolved to a point where they give you granular control, right? And it means that we are not in a generation where we can say that it's okay to not know. We should know, and then we should be very wary of what permissions we are giving. Example is these predatory loan apps that have kind of taken over, right? So they've taken advantage of people who are in dire need of money, and then have done multiple ruckuses. People have gone to cyber cells and done. I have personal instances of people who were affected by it. So I think very, very dangerous from that point of view. And then now I think your banking is in phone, your everything, your life is in the phone. I don't remember the last time I went to a bank to get any of the banking use cases done. So I think from that point of view, there is good level of security built into your phones, but then the onus is on you as a user to make use of it well.
Yeah, I think those are very good points. So even if you look at it from a security perspective, these are the key points, right? So you should be in control. I would say two things. One is, like you rightly said, maybe not everyone looks at the terms and conditions and probably just clicks on I agree, and essentially ends up in downloading an app and installing it, using it for their use cases, whatever it can be, right? Whatever domain it falls under. But I think key thing is looking at the permissions, like Chirag rightly pointed out. Looking at the permissions that an app has access to, and I think you should ask yourself, do this app really need this permission, and should you allow that? I think some of the apps, I think Android, I'm not really sure, but iPhone actually, iOS basically points out if an app has excess access than what it needs. It basically points out saying, hey, this app has more access to, let's say, your gallery, or you want to limit access and things like that, right? So I think you should be in control of, what apps have access to what data. And it has also happened in the past where I think I remember during the COVID times where there were these Chinese apps which came into the market where people were like, how do you look when you get older? Right.
Oh,
So
yeah.
a lot of people basically uploaded their photos of today, and they were like, everyone had this curiosity to download and see how they look when they're like probably 80 years of age or 70 years of age. That, in a way, if you look at it, it's kind of taking away all your data, right? So all your facial data is with them now.
Right.
And how are they using it? How are they, for what use cases are they using that particular data set, and where are they storing that data? Nobody knew actually. So people just were curious on, hey, and also got into that FOMO, right? Like all of my circle is doing it. So I did not upload my photo, but somebody in my circle actually uploaded my photo. So essentially a lot of data got into that
particular app database.
So I think these are something that people should be very well aware of. And of course, the banking and use cases that you see, you use your smartphone for essentially everything. So you should be in better control of what applications have access to what permissions, and how can you get on top of this and be in control. Like I said earlier, that's I think key. In the age of smartphone era.
So, Sriranjan, one question which I have is, I always have this fear in terms of the banking applications that are there on my mobile, like Chirag has been rightly pointing out. I know they use a very sophisticated system so that no one can actually peek in and then pull in the data. But, with the latest availability of AI to everyone, do you see any threat of, banking applications facing in your future? Or
No, I think banks in general, or at least I have been working with European banks, so they are very conservative in nature. So even access between applications is so restricted and so entitlement dependent. It's really difficult to get into each and every system, and there is no one system that will give you an end-to-end view of a workflow or a business case. So there are multiple applications which do handshake in between.
Okay.
So it's difficult to say that if you penetrate into one system, you get to kind of access all the systems.
Okay.
But I think end of the day, it's again us being vigilant and not trying to get into any scams or impersonating people trying to call you and gather information. I think as long as we are maintaining that vigil, I think the software should take care of it.